I've served in local government before coming here for 22 years, 12 years on a city council, 10 years on a board of supervisor, and I probably passed a number of general plans. The first one in Temecula, the first couple of revisions after, and then in the county of Riverside, we did our general plan, which, as you know, is the blueprint for how your cities or your municipalities or your counties are to be developed. And we had no problem in having areas where there was high density residential. It was part of our general plan. And I'm very proud to have approved over 10,000 units in my stint as a local government official. But we have created an environment in this state that does not empower the private sector to build low to moderate income housing. We've done a few things, I think, really wrong in California. One, you stripped cities and counties of their redevelopment funds, where 20% of those funds would be used to low to moderate income housing. If we really want to lower the cost of housing, we've got to get to the root of the problem, and the problem is over-regulation. Primarily CEQA. I know that's a holy grail for many of you. You don't want to touch it, but it gets in the way and makes homes so expensive. And government shouldn't have to be involved to grease the wheels of providing affordable housing. That should be left to the private sector. We should put policies in place and respect local control to provide for housing for the appropriate people, whether they're low income, middle income, or high income, that balances their housing needs and certainly their job needs. Here we are again, raising yet another tax on people that are struggling to buy homes. You know, I've been a prolific real estate investor for years, and I've been spending a lot of time looking at real estate throughout the country, and I just got back from Nevada. You know, in Nevada, they've only got a 90-day supply of homes there, and you can still get a 3-bedroom, 2-bath home, double garage, on a larger than 7,200 square foot lot, my friends, for $275,000. So what's the difference? Is it the dirt that costs less, or is it the regulations that cost more? I would say it's probably a hybrid of both, but I could tell you it's the regulations that are pricing homes out of the reach of everyday Californians. And what's our answer in Sacramento? It's always, let's raise more taxes. They can't afford it. So if we really want to have an honest discussion about how we're going to provide affordable housing, then we've got to look at specific regulatory reforms. We've got to stop imposing new mandates on local governments that they have to pass on through higher developmental impact fees. There's regional impact fees now. Even in our county, we have a transportation uniform mitigation fee on top of the local developmental impact fees of over $10,000 a dwelling unit to provide for infrastructure that the state of California should have been providing for. We're paying to improve freeways like the 91 freeway and the 15 freeway, not the state of California. Our local taxpayers are picking up the tab. It's just not right. We got to look in the mirror and say, we're not doing something right here in the state of California. Government isn't always the solution. We should be looking at the private sector to help us. Come up with a local housing commission in the state of California. Bring in the KB Homes, the Standard Pacifics. Bring in the environmentalists, like we did in Riverside County when we did our general plan that was called the integrated plan. It took the environmental concerns, it had the developers sitting at the table and said, how can we build out a general plan to enhance the quality of life and allow people be able to buy homes and have the dream of home ownership in our county. And you know what? We sat all these special interest groups down, and we were able to get a general plan approved without litigation, a blueprint that it lives on even today. The state needs to learn from the County of Riverside how to get things done. Bring the groups together. Find out what the problems are. I think when you reduce the regulations, especially you got to take a look at CEQA, which holds a lot of things up. I think we can let the private sector help reduce the price of housing, where it becomes a capitalistic investment where they can actually make a buck and at the same time sell an affordable home. What did we do a few minutes ago? We said that if you own an apartment building and it's low income, and the period that you're required to provide low-income housing expires, you're not even letting that guy off the hook, and he can sell the apartments for a big market value and decide to take it off the market if he feels that's what he should be doing. I mean, it's taking away property rights from people. So let's provide incentives to have people build low-income housing, moderate-income housing, without taxing our citizens to do the same. This is going to be helpful, but it's not going to solve our housing crisis here in the state of California. So for those reasons, let's stand up for the people that are going to be paying these fees, that are already burdened by all the other taxes and fees that you've incorporated into their lives this year, where people live paycheck to paycheck, and all they want to do is get government out of the way and just have the dream of home ownership and live their lives, raise their families, and call California home. I think we're extinguishing the California dream of home ownership by further putting burdens on our low-income property owners that want to own. For those reasons, I urge a no vote.